Ladies and gentlemen and children of the planet Earth, today I am Dick Tracy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, today I plan to discuss with you the fact that what you see on the handle of this knife is a bull or a bullock and a matador. However, what you are going to see when I remove the handle of this knife from the $1 bill is a picture of a bullock depicted in pink. The pink wings of the seraphim. These are seraphim. This is one seraphim that has eyes before, and this is another seraphim that has eyes behind. These are the seraphim, the six-winged seraphim that appear upon the Ark of the Covenant with eyes before and behind. However, in order to prove this to you, I'm going to show you a picture of a profile of Tutankhamun. And the profile of Tutankhamun lines up directly with the pictures outlined underneath the profile of Tutankhamen's face. What you see under the profile of Tutankhamen's face is you see the vulture's headdress right here, located at the top of Tutankhamen's headdress, and you see the plated false beard of Tutankhamun represented as a line, a pink line over here. This is one representation of a god. What you are looking at the end of the $1 bill are approximately 250 pictographs in a 1 square inch area. These pictographs are once again the faces that appear before and behind. And if you'll notice, the outline of the face of Tutankhamun is identical to the outline portrayed underneath the edge of the outline of the face itself. These faces that you see in this case are the faces of men that appear to be men but are not men, described within the Bible as the faces of the seraphim that appear to be men but are not men. And they are discerned on either side of the $1 bill as faces of men that appear to be men that are not men. And you still don't see them specifically in and of themselves, because in order to do so, it is best to take the bill and rotate it to where the faces of the men that appear to be men are on a 45-degree angle, to the edge of the bill. And then what appears to be eyes, an eye here, the eye appears to have a projection that wraps around, in this case, the God pod. And when it wraps around the God pod, it is because the depiction of the seraphim as the protector and angel that protects the Lord God, that sets upon the end of the Ark of the Covenant, has the ability to see around objects utilizing something called Euclidean optics, which has been placed in the form of pictographs on the $1 bill to prove that some form of a higher power created the 3,300 pictographs that appear in the whole process on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill. So this is one face of a seraphim. This is the mouth, this is the eye, and this is the ability for the seraphim to see around what I call the God pod in order to protect the Lord God from its enemies. Just as depicted in the Bible, the seraphim protect the Lord God, just as was predicted or discussed in the Bible, in King Solomon's temple, the seraphim protected the Lord God inside the tent of Moses and inside the temple of King Solomon. Therefore, these are the faces of the seraphim. Now, I could get into a greater detail and tell you that this is called a dais, and if you notice, at the end of the $1 bill is a white line. This line represents the end of the Ark of the Covenant, because the entire green side is an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant. This line that runs longitudinal to the top and bottom edge of the $1 bill, this white line represents the poles that hold the Ark of the Covenant while carrying the Ark of the Covenant through the desert. The ringlets that appear on the Ark of the Covenant that were given in the instructions to build that hold the poles are here, 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 and here. Therefore, these poles that I just described are the poles of shittim wood that hold the Ark of the Covenant, and here are the handles where man meets God. In this case, this would be the handle that you would grab, located at the corner where 1 meets the numeral 1. This is where the men would hold the handles that carried the Ark of the Covenant. The whole green side is the Ark of the Covenant. Inside the mercy seat where the Lord Shinka lived and existed is the central portion that is called the table or the mantle where the Lord sat, or otherwise known as the mercy seat, aka in God we trust 1, and this is where the Lord's energy would be. This goes on and on and on forever. I have discovered 3,300 pictographs on the reverse and on the obverse of the $1 bill, including 2 candy canes just below the mantle of George Washington's head that is pointed to in blue. These are the candy canes right here these are the candy canes right here that have 4 dashes. 4 dashes here and 4 dashes here. I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see it. The reason that those 4 candy canes exist those 4 dashes on the candy canes exist is because it represents the 44th POTUS. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a plan in existence for 7,000 years by a remnant society to build the Great Pyramid, to make the Ark of the Covenant, to bring the United States to a heightened elevation of awareness and capability, and to also predict the end of the United States of America, aka George Washington was the first president and he will be the last president. And once again, my friend Tony is going to be freaking because I went over 4 minutes. And here is another representation of the 44th POTUS with a nuclear detonation. And just as I predicted in my book, there would be 2 nuclear detonations or catastrophes on Obama's watch, and they have in fact occurred. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of my book, of course, is Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, and it can be reviewed by clicking the link under this video at Amazon.com, and it comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point I would like to say thank you for viewing my video and your patience with my inability to make videos, and God day to you. from Michael Fazio in the Florida Keys.